This is the Hype Beast, Hunter Holcraft, and you're listening to the Hypest Podcast and all of the internet, the Sit Down Marks Podcast.
Hey, yo, if I can be serious for a minute. Oh, yeah! Acknowledge me.
What's going on out there? It's Sit Down Marks Mafia Land. What's going on, people? Welcome. Come on in. Sit down. Episode number 170 of the flagship Sit Down Marks podcast. We're excited. Hitting another milestone here. Got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk a little TNA, see what's going on their roster. We're going to talk some WWE TV moves. AEW Forbidden Door just happened yesterday, so lots to talk about. Thanks for tuning in. Want to appreciate everybody watching us on Facebook and YouTube, and everybody listening on all those podcast platforms out there. Who's with me today? You know who's with me. The OG crew, Primo and Dylan. What's going on, boys? How we doing?
What is going on? Episode 170. We're back again for another main episode of the Sit Down Marks podcast, talking TNA today, and that is not Tess and Albert, everybody. We're going to talk TNA wrestling.
Dylan, how's life, brother?
What's up, boys? You know, we're vibing and thriving. You know,
I've been thinking. I've
been thinking. Always vibing and thriving. But what is art? Like, are we art? Like, is art even art? You know,
Art's
like just some things to think about. You know, I'm fired up, boys. We got wrestling to talk about. I think Forbidden Door might still be going on. I'm not positive, but
I think it's very.
I think the main event still going on. You know, but yeah, we're good. We're good. It's Ohio State week. We're good.
Yeah, I think.
Interesting.
I think that the fans are just now getting out of the O2 Arena from the weekend. Funny, they were over there, and WWE's over there running the show. You know, today too.
What a coincidence!
How those things happen.
Yeah. So ironic.
Yeah, ironic, man. But thanks everybody for tuning in, man. We had a good weekend. Ready to talk a little wrestling with you guys. So, Primo, if you're ready, man, it's hot start time. 5 topics in the world of pro wrestling. Let's get it. Topic number 1, man. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's a Raven documentary coming out. It's called Nevermore. It's just now being previewed. I think they said it was according to the graphic here, it was previewed in coming up in Chicago this weekend. How interested are you guys to watch a Raven documentary? Start with you, Dylan.
I'm fired up. You know, like Raven's had a heck of a career, you know, all the different places he's been. You forget he was in WWF as, you know, a commentator, manager back in like the early 90s. And then, of course, the ECW and WCW and TNA. Like, he's been everywhere. And I feel like I don't know as much about him as I should. And just with all the different highs and lows that he's had throughout his life and career, I'm pretty fired up.
Yeah, I agree, actually. I'm a big fan of documentaries in general. Wrestling documentaries are even +1 for me, and especially one that I have never, because I've seen so many Stone Cold, so many everybody else, documentaries. I have never seen a Raven documentary, so I'm pretty interested.
Yeah, and I always like when a new one comes out, man. You know, it's like, all right, something else new to watch because we've seen them all on Netflix or DVD or dug up, somewhere on the internet, these documentaries that have come out, some of them very low quality, low ball, but this one I think is going to be pretty legit. And they're doing some advertising, it took a while to put together. So, yeah, I'll be excited, too, to see how this goes. That dude's seen a lot in wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, but I'm excited to check this one out, too. Topic number 2, Primo, let's start with you on this one, man. So, WWE PLEs are leaving Peacock for ESPN. How do you feel about that? Are you going with them to ESPN?
Well, I mean,
what's your thoughts?
I don't know what that means for me as a subscriber. Like, I already have like Hulu, Disney, ESPN trio of whatever that's called already. And then I already had Peacock, and I have every other streaming service known to man. But I don't know. Do I have to pay extra on top of the ESPN Plus I already have? Like, I'm confused. Or is it already part of my current package?
Right. I think so. just so you know, like I texted you guys this the other day. So I turned on my Roku a couple days ago. ESPN app had an update on it. When it got updated and came back up, it said ESPN Unlimited was formatted a little differently. I did not see any wrestling on there yet, but
I did see it in the sports section though.
Okay,
like
all right.
It's if you go like in the settings of your ESPN app or whatever,
Sure.
and you can pick your favorite teams.
Yeah.
Like NFL, MLB, WWE's at the bottom now.
Sure.
So,
right.
Additionally, I'd like to say that if they take the whole library off Peacock and they're only on Peacock for a Saturday night's main event, that's not enough reason for me to stay on Peacock.
Agreed. Yeah. So it updated, and now I probably should go back and see the wrestling on there. But I think if you had formerly ESPN Plus, this is what it's going to be on. Because Dylan, you said you do not have ESPN Plus, as part of the package, and you didn't have access to this.
Right. So I don't have the Plus. I dropped it. I do have YouTube TV.
Mm-hmm.
When they first announced they were going to ESPN, YouTube TV was one of the people. When I say they, I just mean internet people, not WWE. They said YouTube TV might be able to get it for free. So when DB texted us said it had updated, I got logged on. I got to sign into the ESPN app with YouTube TV as my provider, and I could watch like First Take or whatever was on at the time. I don't remember now. But whatever was on then, I could watch it live, but I can't go back and watch anything else. Like I can't go on demand. I can't watch like the UFC fights, nothing like that. So YouTube TV is not one of the cable providers that gets you, I don't want to say free, but free access to it, free through your cable. It's like Dish streaming and like I think maybe Fubo and a couple others you automatically get with it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm already tired of paying $50 for the AEW pay-per-views, and that's basically monthly. Or maybe not every month, but basically. Now another $30 just for WWE pay-per-views. Like I don't know. And I just read before we got online, we're right here before football season. YouTube TV might not be getting Fox. Like that might be ending this week, which would take like every reason I have for YouTube TV. Like I could just get rid of it and go somewhere else. So I don't know. It's getting pretty expensive to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, it is. The WWE, especially because they are on so many different networks.
Yeah.
They're branded. Every night's on a different network, just about. You know what I mean? So, but I'm with Primo too. Like if I'm already probably going to leave Peacock, even if they do just keep the Saturday Night's Main Event in the library for now, because I have a big enough DVD library. Well, where that's what I usually go to if I'm going to look back at something. So, I don't go to the library too often, but I don't understand why it would stay there if everything else is going to, unless they want to keep something. And I hear, they're going to get Cena's last match in December on there. So it's probably enough. I'll probably keep it through the end of the year. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it's hard to, there's so much wrestling out there. It's hard to justify chasing one company all over to, just to keep up on, storylines and stuff. But, I mean, I guess we'll find out because topic number 3, boys, WrestlePalooza this was going to be the one that's streaming exclusively. The very first one. It wasn't supposed to start till next year. Now they moved it back, put it in Indianapolis, another logo based over a wheel or, something racing-esque, every time they're in Indianapolis. Yeah. But I guess we'll find out here whether
WrestlePalooza,
what me and Primo have is already enough, or if there's another, something you're supposed to pay for these PLEs or whatever. But kind of a weird name for them. There's a lot of indie shows that already use this branding of WrestlePalooza, so I don't guess they had copyright on it. Yeah, I'm assuming.
It's interesting name.
It's an old ECW name too. ECW used to do WrestlePalooza. It's fun. The name is fun. I don't know.
I think that's why I'm like, I've heard it so much before.
Yeah.
Like, come on, WWE.
Also, too, this is the same day as what? All In?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Coincidence, I'm sure.
Let's talk about that too, man. Is that just them just being dicks? You know, it kind of seems that way to me of all the dates, just trying to put out the competition, which, competition's good. I think the two fan bases are separate and casual. I don't think they're going to hurt if one of them, like me, for instance, I'll watch one of these live and I'll watch the other one after, you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
but what do you guys think about, when they kind of do this kind of a heel move?
Like when they're going direct head to head with it?
Yeah, on the same day.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure at some point it is a power play. It's a business after all, and they are going to flex the muscle of the WWE machine. But I mean, I don't know. I got two monitors for a reason.
Right. Yeah.
It's interesting to me how much WWE wants to say AEW is not competition. Yet every time AEW has a pay-per-view, WWE has something, whether it's the Saturday Night Main Event or an NXT pay-per-view, or they create a brand new pay-per-view out of nowhere, and probably I'm assuming putting Cena and Brock on here, and
sure,
they come watch our stuff. We're not in competition.
I did see something about that.
When
you mentioned The Rock just now, there was something like he was on the first Netflix Raw. He was on the first something else. Like he's on the first of everything. So they were saying he could potentially be on this one because it's the first on ESPN.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I want to say this too, just a little side note. So you guys know I went to UFC.
Yes.
Last weekend, whenever.
Yeah.
In Chicago, and TKO owns WWE and UFC. Not every time they had a break, but maybe every other time they had a break, they were running WWE ads, advertisements for pay-per-views. They were pushing SmackDown in Chicago like crazy. You know what I mean? So it was and that was my fourth UFC event ever. And obviously,
first one under TKO.
Yeah. Definitely the first one under TKO. And, in between fights, I'm watching Cody Rhodes talk about Wheatley vodka, or whatever it is. He's, like in between, like it's wild, man. I'm like, it's everywhere. But in another sense too, like I thought it was pretty cool, so they plugged SmackDown in Chicago a lot. They plugged Cena's last run tour, not every time, but sometimes when there was a wrestling ad on, we got some woos in the crowd, you know what I mean? So, there's some crossover there for sure, so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Topic number 4, Primo. Let's talk about your girl, man. Naomi. She was having the best run of her life, her wrestling career.
Yeah.
And and she gets pregnant. Now she's going to be out for a while. She, relinquished the belt, last week, whatever. But, obviously it's a beautiful thing when you have kids. You know what I mean? It's, create another life it's awesome. You don't really understand till you have them. But man, like she was having the best run ever. Like she was finally getting somewhere, steam, so,
absolutely.
That's kind of hurt a little bit, right?
Yeah. I mean,
because you're the twos and we the ones.
That's right. Big Jim laid down the champ, pinned her for however long that took, all 30 seconds of it. Good job, Big Jim. With your Slim Jim, you took down the champ.
Right.
So, but no, congrats to them. In all seriousness, these things, as you know, Dirty, with children, it's hard to plan. It kind of just happens when it happens. And I mean, they're a happy married couple, so more power to them. She was on the run of her career. But that doesn't mean that she can't come back. Becky did the same thing. So,
right.
At least, from what it seemed, I hadn't seen the most recent Raw, but for last week when she laid the title down on the Slim Jim logo, she didn't just automatically hand it over to Asuka. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first reaction, just the stupid wrestling fan centered in the wrestling world, my first reaction was like, man, what timing? But then after I got thinking about it, like the timing is actually fairly good in some ways. One, she just cashed in her Money in the Bank. If she still had the briefcase, you have to do something creative to get that off of her, because you can't just hold on to that for over a year and then show up with it again.
Yeah.
And two, going out like this, they have to bring her back in a big role. If this had happened when she wasn't doing anything, not on TV, then she's just kind of like, oh, hey, I'm pregnant and this is why I'm off TV. And whenever she comes back, it's probably a decently big deal, but it's just like, oh, hey, Naomi's back. Now that we have proceeded with caution, world champ Naomi, when she comes back, it has to be something major. It can't just be a thrown out there in a legend segment or whatever. So like you said,
with caution, that's something Big Jim did not do.
Hey, the bloodline's continuing. It's
That's true.
20 years, 25 years from now, it's going to be the new Baby Uso versus Roman's new kid, and
right.
They'll be main eventing WrestleMania, and it's bloodline forever.
Well, she has twins.
Oh Lord.
More Usos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool though. But yeah, just kind of thought like it's got to be a little bittersweet because she was having such a good run. But all right, topic number 5, boys. Before we get out of here on the hot start, yesterday was, as we record this, AEW Forbidden Door in London. I'm all about some daytime wrestling, so I love this coming on at noon. I did not, however, like it going off at 6 o'clock is what it felt like. These things, like I end up loving the cards, man. But God, man, there's too long. They need to start putting some more stuff on 0 hour. We're already watching anyway. You know what I mean? So just just put it on there for whatever. But a couple things here before we talk about what we liked and didn't like about it. Forbidden Door, Tony Schiavone said 18,992 was the attendance there, saying it was the most attended wrestling event at O2, obviously trumping WWE at one point. But yeah, let's start with you, Dylan. What'd you like about Forbidden Door? What jumped out at you? And we'll just kind of play off you, man, and see. So, tell me what you didn't like.
Yeah. Just to piggyback off that real quick, you got to kayfabe that number and just boost it up 8. Being 8 short of that, even 19,000. No, you had 19,000 in the building. Just anyway, small note that stood out.
There were 8 people going to the bathroom when they counted.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be negative right off the bat. Just get that out of the way. Again, kind of piggybacking off of you. If you count the start of 0 hour until it went off the air, it's roughly 6 hours.
Yeah,
that's just too much. And the price point, I'm sick of the $50 for a wrestling show. I know that used to be more of the norm, but not to get into that whole discussion we just had again. It's too damn expensive to be a wrestling fan.
And anyway, too, AEW used to do it every 3 months, or now they're popping them off every month and still charging the same.
I counted. We're in August. I think this was the 5th pay-per-view of the year, but they've already announced September and October and November and I think December. So
there you go.
That's it's very expensive just to watch wrestling from home.
Countering the ticket sales with more pay-per-views.
But that negativity out of the way, the actual show itself. I absolutely loved Hangman and MJF. It may have been, a little overbooked at the end, but we can look past to that. It was, I loved it. Cope and Christian being on the same team.
Cool seeing them together.
Fun. Yeah, that's fun. I really liked the Hiromu and Kyle Fletcher match, and I really liked Saber and Nigel. You knew Nigel wasn't going to win the title, but Nigel in London challenging for the New Japan title, that was pretty cool. That was
sweet.
My highlights.
Yeah. I like the main event too. I liked Hangman, of course. I really liked Okada Swerve, because let me tell you how I look at Okada now. I look at him as this leveling up type final boss guy on the roster now. It's like if you can come out with a win, he's not supposed to lose a lot, you know what I mean? And so, if Swerve's going to end up coming back and beating him, and when he does, it'd be a big deal, you know what I mean? But like I like how he's kind of coming into this little character. I liked Wardlow coming back. I don't know that he's gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna like him in this cool henchman role again. We'll see what happens. But I like at least he's back on TV. Kyle Fletcher's really starting to wear on me. Like man, he's good. I just feel like he might need to find like a different gimmick or something. But last it was a little shock. Brodito won the belts there. But I think a lot of people was. But I don't know, man. Tony's on the card. I feel like she's my favorite thing in AEW because Jay White's not on right now. And, love the character, love the gimmick. I kind of thought this might be the one that she loses, to Athena. But, they can run it back a couple more or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, decent pay-per-view. What'd you think, Primo?
Yeah, I agree. I liked Tony versus Athena at one point. I was on voice chat with my brother this whole time. I told him, I was like, hey, yeah, Billy Stark, she was on our podcast one time. Made sure I put that in there.
Yeah.
MJF, Adam Page, really enjoyed that one. Adam Page, he plays this. He tells the story real good of the comeback. Being worn down hero.
Sure.
And then I agree with Okada, Swerve, Nigel, and Zack Sabre Jr. These were all good. Kyle Fletcher was good. I loved ENC back together. Now,
right.
I wanted to put a note on that. I did notice that Justin Roberts, the Dapper Yapper, he said Adam Copeland.
Yeah.
So does he always announce him as that, even though he's known as Cope? But I don't know. I just didn't notice.
I don't know that I've paid attention to that either, but it seemed like they've been calling him Cope because he's been going like Cope.
Yeah, I mean they have been calling him Cope even when he was with FTR.
Yeah.
But I noticed whenever they won, Justin Roberts said Adam Copeland.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wasn't
paying that close
surprised about
attention.
Brodito because I've actually been tuning in to Dynamite lately.
Yeah.
So I noticed, they have a crazy cool tag team finish.
Mm-hmm.
It's a monkey flip into a front flip. Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
The lights out match, lots of holy shit moments.
Yeah, boy, they beat the shit out of Ospreay at the end, man.
The funny part when Tanahashi was getting on the ladder and they're like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you guys feel about the ear fucking?
The chat. Oh my god.
Oh,
that was brutal.
I
will say I was also doing laundry during this match and I stepped away for a second. I come back and I go, what the fuck? Is that gummy bears? And my brother busts out laughing. He's like, yeah, those are gummy bears. Because nothing is funnier in wrestling right now than the Young Bucks getting treated like jobbers. It's the funniest thing. I mean, I know they are probably the most in on it than anybody. So it's even funnier. But I love it. I love there being good sports about it.
Yeah. Would they come out to Mbop?
Mbop, yeah.
It was like their very first song or something.
But no, overall, I actually really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
From top to bottom. I didn't realize it was starting at noon until you guys text me. So thank you for that. But no, overall, I did enjoy it.
Yeah. One more thing none of us mentioned. Bryan Danielson. I love him on commentary.
Oh, yeah. He was good on it.
Go figure Bryan's good at something in wrestling.
Right.
Shocker. But I think
we're just in love with him no matter what, right?
Yeah. That's probably it. But even during the Nigel match when he was constantly like, I know Nigel used to shit on me on commentary, but I'm only going to say nice things about him. Right. Even that was fun. Yeah.
And then he excused himself for the main event.
Yeah.
One last thing here before we go home on this. Probably the least of New Japan integration Forbidden Door pay-per-view that we've had. Not a whole lot from that end. I mean, we had the champ, of course, Zach here, and a few other guys, but it's usually a little more AEW versus New Japan, but this one was a little more, mashed up. I didn't hate it, but it's Forbidden Door. I don't know that it fit. You know what I mean?
And they to get nerdy here on a wrestling podcast, they normally do Forbidden Door in like June or July. This year, it's, the end of August.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they do a great job with the build, bringing in people all the time. But New Japan's been in the G1 for the last like month or month and a half or whatever. So like most of the top guys were all wrapped up in that, and they really couldn't bring them over here when they're doing the G1.
Sure.
But they still could have threw them out. Like Ishii just had a run-in spot on 0 Hour, I think it was. Like they could have threw Ishii in a match. Takeshita wasn't on the card. Like there was other stuff they could have done, but the timing was kind of off this year.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to say about this is, so I was watching this, like I said, with my brother, and he doesn't watch AEW, and but he is a wrestling fan. He watches WWE, and Mercedes Moné was coming out, and he goes, "Why the fuck does she have so many belts?" So he was like, that doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, no, I mean that was basically like an outsider's perspective, like outside of AEW perspective of, why the hell does she have 8 or 9 titles?
She won an Owen in Scotland over the weekend, I believe. I read.
Yeah, I read that. I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right, boys, let's move on, man. Let's get to the dropkick discussion of the week. Let's talk a little TNA, see what's going on down in the roster of TNA. But first, let's hear a word from Mikko Maestro.
It's Mikko Maestro, the Finland's finest, and you're listening to the #1 podcast, Sit Down Marks. Ja tässä mä sanon, teidän kaikkien kannattaa kuunnella, olet sitten Suomesta tai Yhdysvalloista, koska tätä kaikki tulevat kertomaan kadulta toiselle, kaupungista toiseen.
Thanks, Mikko.
Thank you, Mikko. Shout out to Finland. Got some fans out there. Been doing some downloads here lately. Want to thank everybody, too, for checking out the podcast lately. We've had a bunch of new downloads come through. So if you're checking out the pod for, if you're a newbie, appreciate it. If you're still hanging on from the old school days, appreciate that, too. So want to thank everybody listening and watching on YouTube, Facebook. SitDownMarks.com is the place to go and find out for everything going on with the Sit Down Marks podcast. So, boys, let's talk a little TNA today. Basically, let's find out who's actually over there, who's actually on the rosters, who the champions are, a little update, not necessary storylines, but, it's always good to kind of get a little check back on TNA to see, with their relationship with WWE, who they're retaining, who they have on their rosters. So we all took the category. I got tag teams, women. Dylan has the women, and Primo has the singles. So I'll start off, man. I'll get us going here. Let's talk a little tag teams first. So looking at this tag team roster, I'm not super impressed with it. I feel like this might be the weakest of the three that we're going to talk about today. Depth wise, notoriety wise, people that would, make you tune in. But I think they got the titles on the right guys right now, with the Hardys being the champions right now. They won it at Slammiversary of July earlier this year. Yeah, it kind of makes sense looking at this roster that, it's a good reason that the Hardys are the champs, because they're kind of like the most popular. They're probably looking at all these, it's probably the ones that would make us turn over there and look. This division a little weak, because you got to think about there's, Ace Austin just left. Chris Bay is out right now. The Machine Guns have been gone for a little while. The Kingdom's been gone for a little while. I think the last kind of nostalgia act was their tag team wise was Heath and Rhino, probably. But definitely could take a little shot in the arm with, some sort of, signing. I don't know who that would be, but let's take a look at, who they got for tags right now. I did throw Mance Warner and Steph DeLander in there, a deathmatch royalty, just because they have, kind of been mixing up in the tag division. But now these are kind of tag teams and factions. There's a couple different iterations of these, but First Class faction of KC Navarro, AJ Francis, and Rich Swann. And then we got the Good Hands, probably one of my favorites, because I'm a big John Schuyler guy, with Jason Hotch. The Nemeth brothers are there, Ryan and Nick, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler. Old school Eric Young is there with Judas Icarus and Travis Williams. They are known as the Northern Armory. The Rascals, probably one of the longest tenured on the roster. Myron Reed, Zachary Wentz, Trey Miguel. I know Trey's definitely been there for quite a long time. Probably the faction tag team making the most noise right now. Probably the System, with Moose, Dango. I can't remember what they call him there now. It's a couple of letters, I think. Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards. And then kind of rounding out this tag team division, let me know if I'm missing anybody. The Aztec Warriors, which we know as the Laredo Kid and Octagon Jr. But, none of these teams are super, maybe an exception of the Rascals, but and maybe the Good Hands, but none of these are super tag teams by any means. You know what I mean? And so I feel like maybe a signing, something like that. I mean, the Hardys, I'm not saying they couldn't have good matches with these guys, but if you're trying to get eyeballs on a product, if you're a tag team guy, we would know these guys, but a casual probably wouldn't know probably 80% of these people. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking maybe the tag might be the weakest link here as far as the three that we're talking about today, but which is kind of wild because, at one point we watched TNA. It was kind of like what they hung their hat on for a little while, they just with the X Division tag team titles, but, you never know who'd come around. So looking at this roster, it makes sense why they got the Hardys and it makes sense why they got the titles. So, you guys got any thoughts on the tag team division?
Yeah. Right now it is the Hardys and their opponent. If you're tuning in to watch the Hardys, you don't care who they're wrestling. So as long as you have the Hardys, and the Hardys are still getting a great pop no matter where they go, you're going to have that match. I do like the Nemeth brothers way more than I should. Do you think taking Nick and putting him in a tag team, you think that'd be minimalizing his potential? But I wasn't a big fan of Ryan in AEW, but I love him in TNA. He's really leaned into I'm Nick's brother. He's all the time being my big brother in this really just a heel, you hate him type of way. I think it's really good. You mentioned Eric Young with Travis and Judas. They haven't done a whole lot with them on TV, but I've seen Judas and Travis, their tag team on the Indies out on the West Coast. I've seen them do some great stuff on the Indies. So if they can find a way to translate that on TV, that would be a good young team to kind of give them a shot in the arm. But yeah, I agree with you. They are doing Hardys and Dudleys at Bound for Glory coming up.
Yep.
But I don't care.
Yeah, and they're advertising it as a one-off, which that means it's probably not going to be.
Yeah, we just talked about how cool it was to see Edge and Christian back, and how TNA's doing the Hardys versus the Dudleys. But I'm I don't really. It doesn't really move me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, Dylan, let's stick with you, man. Let's stick with you. Talk to us. Who's on the women's roster?
Yeah, so I did kind of break it down a little more rivalry-wise, just because it helped me make the list. And one of the things TNA has done for quite a while now is they use, if not all, pretty much all of the women in storylines at the same time. It's not just the title feud and then everybody else in the background. They give stories to all of them. So brand new champion as of last night, Ash by Elegance is the new Knockouts champion. Took the title off of JC, brought it back home to TNA.
Congrats.
Excuse me. The Elegance brand, they have all the titles right now. A couple people we know real well here in the Midwest. It's technically M by Elegance and Heather by Elegance, but Maggie Lee and Heather Reckless have the tag gold. They're doing a Freebird rule type thing, so any of the three can defend the tag belt. But now that Ash has the main belt, it'll be interesting to see if they carry that or if it's just, she's the world champ and Maggie and Heather are the tag champs. They have the Inspiration over there now. We knew them as the Iconics in WWE.
Iconics.
There's they changed the name, but it's still the same act pretty much.
Right.
They're great. Yeah, they're awesome.
Iconics.
I think they're going to go inspiration against Heather and Ash at Bound for Glory. That's not official yet by any means, but that's what it's looking like. Of course, Masha is still over there. Masha's been one of their big players for quite a while.
Yep.
It'd be interesting to see what she does now that she doesn't have the title. If they have anything for her there. They have got a bunch of new signings like within the last year. Like we talked about the tag division needing a shot in the arm. I think this was kind of their way of giving the knockouts division a shot in the arm. Just mentioned Maggie, but you also have Harley Hudson, Mila Grace, Mara Sade. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. She was fresh off NXT. Now I'm forgetting her name, but she was Lash Legend's partner on NXT, Jakara Jackson. Jada Stone, we just saw at Dreamwave a couple weeks ago. She signed to the promotion. They signed Indy Hartwell within the last year. Looks like Indy and Rosemary is going to be feuding.
Dope.
Rosemary's been there forever, like, quite a while.
What was the faction she was in with Abyss?
And
Decay?
Crazy Steve.
Decay. There
Yeah.
you go.
Decay.
Decay.
Yeah.
That was classic.
Yeah.
I remember Crazy Steve was in that. It was like a circus carnival one.
Oh, yeah, with like Mike Knox and
Yes.
The Menagerie.
Yeah. Man, TNA's had some wild stuff.
I know, man. That was interesting too.
They have Tessa Blanchard, and we used to know her as Alicia Fox. Now she's Victoria Crawford. They have them signed. I haven't seen them on TV in a little while. I think it was Famiversary. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Tessa took out Gia Miller, who does like their interviews. So I don't know if I know Gia has done some wrestling. So I don't know if they're trying to make that an angle or what's going on with that. And then they do have the Knockouts tag division. We've seen Zaya Brookside and Li Ying Lee, I think is how you pronounce it. She used to be at NXT. Yeah, they're a team. The team of Spitfire, it's Danny Luna and Jody Threat. They're doing something fun with them. So they broke them up as a team. They had if they don't win the tag belts, they have to split up type thing.
Yep.
And wrestling, we see that from time to time. And when they lose, they break up. One of them turns heel, just like that. It's like after the match, one of them turns heel. How could you lose the match? We were a team. How could you do this to me? Yada, yada,
Your
yada.
fault. Your fault. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they lost the match, but they didn't turn right away. This has been several months ago. They kind of just coexisted. Both of them as baby faces. You'd see them bump into each other in battle royals or backstages from time to time. It looks like Danny Luna's about to turn heel. Jody Threat just became number one contender, and now they're kind of feuding with each other. So it's like a nice, slow build instead of just how could you lose? How could you do this to me? Now I hate you all of a sudden.
Right.
Now they have a little bit more behind it. I think that's most of them. Killer Kelly just came back not too long ago after having a baby. She's getting back in the mix. You mentioned Steph DeLander with Mance. She's been out with an injury, but she'll be back in there at some point. You got Alicia Edwards with the system. Tasha Steeles with Ali and his group. So they have a pretty stacked roster. And like I said, they do a good job of keeping them all involved, where it's not just here's one storyline and the rest are background characters. But they do a lot of good stuff over there.
All right, Primo, you're up, man. Let's look at the singles. Who's on the roster for all the singles? Ready and go.
Yeah. So this list, it's quite extensive. So, you guys name or Dirty, you name some of these in the tag team, of course, like AJ Francis. There's Brian Myers, Cedric Alexander, who's been vying for, he faced off with Leon Slater for who is the X Division champion. You got Eddie Edwards in the system. You got Elijah. You got EY, of course. Frankie Kazarian. Jake something. There you go. Thank you. Y'all said Jason Hotch already. JDC is the initials you were looking for earlier, Dirty.
Thank
Joe
you.
Hendry, of course, we believe.
We do.
Judas, Leon Slayer, like I said, he's the X Division champion. Mance Warner, Matt Cardona, Mike Santana, who's in the mix with the current world champ, TNA world champ, who is not on the roster, Trick Willie.
Right.
But yeah, so Trick Williams defeated Moose, and then at what was that called? Emergence. And then Santana is now vying for that title in his own right. But Trick Williams is trying to do the he doesn't have to defend for 50 days type deal, but we'll see how that goes. You got Mustafa Ali, Myron Reed, Nick. We got both the Nemeth brothers, Rich Swann, Steve Macklin, who's the international champion.
Yeah.
Dreamer, Tommy Dreamer, Travis Williams, Trey McGill, and Zachary Wentz.
Nice.
There's a few others. I think Laredo, Octagon. That's pretty much the roster rounded out. Some of those are in a faction, but those are all those guys also compete singles.
And we're assuming that Sammy is going to really retire.
Yeah, that's why I didn't add him.
whatever,
I didn't add him or Chris Bay.
Yeah. I miss Sammy. I do. I didn't get upset. I didn't get sad when I watch that because I just don't really believe it. If I don't see him wrestle for a couple of years, and then I'll maybe believe that he's done. But man, legit roster. Lots of work there with. They got a nice upper tier, and then kind of like a nice little mid card. You know what I mean? So. It seems like every time we kind of check back in with them a little bit, they've added a little more, but honestly, right now, I mean, aside of maybe Trick, being the champ, talked about just because of NXT, the women's division, this Ash Elegance and
a lot going on there.
There's division. A lot going on
Knockouts
there.
Division.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff right there right now, and that people are paying attention to. So,
that Leon Slater, that dude is good. It's more than just the Swanton 450. He's all the way around.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's still young. I don't know, 20 or something. I may have just pulled it out of thin air. I don't know. But he's young. He's good. They're giving guys like Ali and Cedric a chance to shine. It's not just pigeonholed into you're on 205 Live.
Yeah. The rub from the Hardys and AJ Styles.
Yeah. How do you beat that?
Right.
They're setting him up. They're setting him up for a nice WWE contract, whatever it is. TNA one expires.
Yeah. All right, boys. That's going to do it for Dropkick Discussion of the Week. Next time we'll come back and talk a little TNA again on down in the future. But, I'm trying to start paying attention to more to TNA. I'm trying to start, kind of seeing, honestly, I'm trying to see, if I'm having to add any kind of streaming service, that kind of stuff. But at the very least, I'm kind of reading, see what's going on there. I don't watch NXT, so I don't see how they, integrate back and forth, that much. But it's definitely starting to catch my attention more, and especially if WWE's making me run all over the place to see that, you know what I mean? Be more on my
they have been commingling a lot, even to the point to where like I said, Santana came out on the latest Impact to challenge Trick Williams again, but even so, he also went on NXT and cost Trick Williams #1 contendership for the NXT championship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Can I be negative for 5 seconds here?
Yeah.
TNA, fix your freaking production.
Yeah, but I said that a year ago. Yeah,
every live show. I am not kidding. Every single live show, there is either a pre-tape or they start airing it before it's supposed to start. You get them just kind of chit-chatting, and you hear the okay 3, 2, 1, or there's an audio issue where it just cuts out for a while, or something. You got WWE helping you. You've been around, over 20 years at this point. If indies can run good audio on their shows, you can run good audio on your shows. Just get it fixed. I'm tired of it. Anyway,
I don't remember when the last time we did a deep dive on TNA was, but I definitely said the production last time as well. Yeah. So it's definitely a running theme.
Yeah.
It's not the whole show, but there's something on every show.
Right. All right, boys, that's going to do it, man. It's time to go home. But first, let's hear a word from 12 Gauge.
This is the Hyperfire 12 gauge, and we are on the hypest podcast, Sit Down Marks Podcast.
I want to remind you to follow at Sit Down Marks on all socials. If you got a product or service you'd like for us to get over to the Sit Down Marks Mafia, let us know. DB on the mic at Yahoo, or hit us up on any of our social media accounts. I want to take a second and plug like some of our little side projects. We're going to talk about Dreamwave Prelude shortly, but Primo's just dropped the latest cheap pop. Talk about gimmicks that got over not too long ago. Make sure you go check that out. Very cool episode of that. I'll be dropping another Territory Treasure here soon. Small little 15-20 minute podcast, you can listen to on your way to work. You can listen to while you're at work, driving across town, that kind of stuff. So and they can be listened to anytime. They're not like specific to certain things that are going on in wrestling. Primo started off doing a really good job with his, inspired me. Now I'm loving digging back into the old days and talking about old characters in the territories and that kind of stuff. So go check those out. Like I said, Primo's got one out right. Well, they're all out basically right now, but Primo just
I took them off the market.
Just released them not long ago. Dylan, let's talk your weekend preview, man. You got any wrestling this weekend?
Let me get my spreadsheet pulled up. I wonder why I'm single, and then I say things like, let me pull up my indie wrestling spreadsheet, and then it all makes perfect sense. There's not a whole lot going on this weekend, which I don't know, holiday weekend. I feel like it's normally more loaded than this. The only two I have down is Beyond is doing their big American Rana show they do every year. It's like maybe besides New Year's Eve, it's maybe their second biggest show of the year. Right. Marcus Mathers versus Matt Cardona for the IWTV title on that one. And New Texas Pro, they've been doing some good stuff down in there. They have a show this weekend, one I am really excited for. Carter Black, he used to be Mysterious Q. He is their champion. He's defending against one called Manters. That's going to be physical as it gets. That'll be really good. Adam Priest is on the card. Vixen versus Johnny Robbie. That'll be really fun. But yeah, kind of a slow weekend. Those are the only two I have so far. At least it's just Monday. I haven't dug too deep into it. But whatever I come up with, that'll be out probably Thursday. Find it on my Twitter at DHagerJ15. That's DHAGERJ15. It will be pinned to the top of the profile whenever it gets published.
I guess the wrestling gods are kind of blessing us a little bit because, college football all day Saturday, a few games on Sunday. Oh, yeah. I think Clash in Paris is on Sunday this coming week. But yeah, so I'll take a little light wrestling weekend, for basically week one of college football.
College football season, yeah. We can use a slow week.
Well, I'll let you guys know that Dreamwave Prelude Volume 3 dropping on September 2nd, Tuesday, right after Labor Day. So make sure you check that out, Volume 3. We're going to have 2 matches on there for you. So we're going to be talking about those later. So make sure you check out, stay tuned, SitDownMarks.com. We'll be announcing when the show's going to be dropping and all that. And I want to give you a little teaser. Make sure you watch Prelude Volume 3 because we got a big announcement coming up for a big event that we're putting on the pre-show of the October 11th show. Speaking of, at Trick or Treat, just announced, going to be there, the Boogeyman. Dylan, you want to eat some worms, bro? I can probably set that up for you.
Let's go. I might, like it's going to be outdoors. It's hopefully going to be good weather. I might just be feeling it. You got Coco Beware. You got the Bushwhackers. Like, I could eat a handful of worms,
What's he put on?
Why not? Why not?
But yeah, our next taping for Dreamwave Prelude will be on the pre-show of Trick or Treat, October the 11th. Showtime is 6:00. Pre-show Prelude taping will be at 5:30. So make sure you come out early. Announcement to be made later. You'll see it all over social media. So check back in. We'll talk about Dreamwave as well, and also you can always get tickets at dwtix.net. Yeah, we got Boogeyman, we got Bushwhacker Luke, Buried Alive match, Dijak versus Hartenbauer. We got Coco Beware. Yeah, sick, man. RJS versus Brittany. That's a Dreamwave blow your mind match right now. Like both of these girls are loved by everybody. Boogeyman versus Coco, our alternative champion, versus Santana Jackson. If you've never seen Santana Jackson wrestle, please go, do yourself a great favor and Google Santana Jackson wrestler and watch a couple videos. You'll be blown away. It's fantastic. But main event though, Channing Thomas, Sidney Bacabella finally cashing in the briefcase versus Connor Hopkins. This is going to be one of the biggest main events in Dreamwave history, and the crowd seems a little split down the middle about it. And so looking forward to this. So don't miss it. Make sure you be there. Dylan's going to be there. Just don't miss it. It's going to be awesome. Let's talk about what's coming up in September for the podcast. Like I said, I'll be dropping a new Dirty Birds Territory Treasures, and if you're listening right now, I'll give you a little sneak peek in. I'm going to be talking about my favorite referee of all time, the most famous referee in Jim Crockett Promotions NWA era. I'm going to be talking about Tommy Young, so I'll make sure you don't miss that. I'm going to be talking about everything that you've ever heard, knew about Tommy Young. It's all going to be in this podcast, so we'll be dropping that later. We got 2 pods coming up next month. This is 2 more podcasts for Dylan to flex. So hopefully, we knock on wood. The internet's been good. The audio has been good. So 2 different podcasts though. One of them he's going to be talking about who's the rising stars on the indies that we may not know about yet across the United States. And then in a separate pod, he's going to be talking about who are the top unsigned women's wrestlers. So we're going to give the women some love and see who is going to be some of the top unsigned wrestlers there. Now, Dylan knows a lot of wrestlers and knows a lot of women wrestlers. So, he's got to get this list out, make sure he gets everybody on it. So it might be a little pressure, make sure you don't piss anybody off, Dylan.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just about to say. We're gonna see who I can piss off. I'm gonna be in trouble come the end of September. Let's put it that way.
All right, and obviously more preludes to come on down the road, but let's get you out of here on this, boys. We got a little WWE pay-per-view this weekend on Sunday, Clash in Paris. You guys excited about any of those matches? Primo, you see anything on there that jumps out at you that might be worth tuning in for?
Well, let's see. We got about 5 matches announced so far. We have a Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. Tribal Thief with the Shula Fala. I just saw him. I saw a clip of him still in the ref's shoes. You have Logan Paul versus John Cena. I'm happy to see John Cena. I'm sure this is gonna be great. Whatever. Good old Donnybrook. I might be part of the unpopular opinion here. I'm a big fan of best of sevens, and it seems like this is almost like this is what's happening with Sheamus and Rusev, but even back when Sheamus and Cesaro did it, but they just keep having these matches, and they're just everyone is banger after banger after banger, as Sheamus would say. But they really are. And
was that after the bar broke up?
That's when the bar was formed.
When the
bar was formed.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's right. Hell yeah.
But yeah, so Sheamus and Rusev and a Donnybrook.
Okay. I'll watch that.
You have the Women's Intercontinental Championship match with Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella.
That'd be good. Yeah, that'd be good.
I don't know if you guys.
The crickets.
I don't know if you guys watched Raw today, but because it came on 2:00 in the afternoon Central Time. Nikki Bella was walking through the ring. They showed her backstage, and they kept showing everybody. And chants are breaking out, and they showed Nikki Bella, and it was crickets basically. It's pretty quiet, So, yeah, they're doing her and Becky, and I don't know. Whatever.
And of course, this is one I really am excited about. Besides that Donnybrook and besides Roman and Bronson, I just like seeing Roman Reigns, though. Acknowledge him.
Roman Reigns.
But the World Heavyweight Championship match in a fatal 4-way with. Hold on, where's my button?
Acknowledge me.
There's Yeah, that was the earlier button. This button now. Seth Rollins versus LA Knight versus Jey Uso versus CM Punk.
Yeah, what do y'all think's happening here?
Fatal 4-way.
I got Seth.
I got Seth too. Yeah, yeah, all day. But it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna create it might create a bigger feud between LA Knight and CM Punk. Battle of the initial names.
But they got to start setting up for Survivor Series now, right? Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah. I had thought about what Primo just said. They might go Punk and LA Knight going forward. Or they got that big one on ESPN, the WrestlePalooza. I wouldn't be shocked if they do like Punk and Seth again there, just because I have a feeling if they're wanting us to pay $30, I have a feeling they're going to really load up that one.
Put something on there worth it.
But like, question to you guys. What main events? We got a Cena match. We got a Roman match. We got a title match. What goes on last?
Heavyweight championship match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, Raw went off today with Jey Uso, Punk, LA Knight fighting each other, and Seth was walking away, laughing, going, "Look at them! They're going to explode on each other." You know, kind of like, yeah, he was doing that exact laugh as he walked up the aisle. So,
just like that.
But as they went off, Jay was standing tall, and everybody yeeting. So yeeting, and I was yeeting.
I say they go in exactly that order. I say Roman opens, and heavyweight championship match ends.
Yeah,
Cena in the middle.
Cena, yeah, they got to go. Cena second or third.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna watch. Yeah, I forgot where I was going. Oh, my question was kind of like you just said Survivor Series. How do you guys feel about it always being War Games, or do you want it to go back to traditional 5-on-5 elimination?
I'd say like do War Games every third year or something.
Right, like, and then like I still do like the old style Survivor Series. 5-on-5 elimination, elimination, excuse me, not chamber, but elimination 5-on-5 matchups.
Yeah.
Where they have, where you have that guy, like, for many years, it was freaking Shawn Michaels battling an entire team.
Yeah.
Or, or Ziggler or somebody fighting a whole team. So I always like those.
And War Games,
I think it would be,
go ahead.
I think it would be cool, and I'm probably in the minority, but if they went back to doing the whole card as like either 4-on-4 or 5-on-5, just have all of it be the elimination matches. But you got to get some of those random teams. Like it can't all be the Bloodline. It's got to be like some random mid-carder in there with the main event guy. And
it's got to be like Tugboat in there with Rick Martel and
DX and CM Punk.
Right, and Virgil.
Yeah. That's what I want. But I don't mind. Like, the problem is if you do the same thing every year, it's coming. Like you can't just organically build to a War Games match if you know it's coming. It's like, oh, look, this group's forming. Now this group's forming. And the other thing, because it's the two rings, whenever they put tickets on sale, if you're getting War Games or not. Because if it's one ring not doing War Games, there's only one ring on the ticket map, and you can buy your ticket there. If it's two, you got twice as many front row seats, so you automatically know, like, okay, War Games is coming up. Like, let's get ready for some factions.
Yep. Yeah, and War Games used to be, only made when huge factions needed to blow off steam, and keep everybody together so nobody else got hurt. Only they could hurt each other. You know what I mean? And so now it's like, they have to do these big faction buildups. But.
And then you got Adam Pearce yelling War Games like 2 weeks beforehand, right. like he wasn't planning it the whole year.
Right. Yeah. When he comes out, it's like, all right, well, what's coming here.
Regal did it better.
Yeah. All right. I want to thank everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook. If you are watching, hang out with us after the Easter egg segment here. We're going to look at an old wrestling poster from years ago, and want to thank everybody listening and supporting the podcast. Thanks to all the new listeners, all our listeners that have been hanging out with us for a while. Appreciate that too. Appreciate all the new downloads in France, Germany, Italy. think we got a couple in Pakistan or something like that a few weeks ago. So thank everybody for tuning in and checking us out. And we'll see you guys next time. For Primo, Dylan, and myself, let's keep spreading the good word of wrestling. See you later.
Adios.
All right, boys. Podcast poster of the week is from 2018. They called it the greatest Royal Rumble ever. This one took place in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, 2018. Greatest Royal Rumble, 50 participants. You guys remember who won?
Braun
Strowman.
This is correct. But
yeah,
the reason why I brought this one up is because this is kind of like the indie version poster of WWE, because in indies
throw everybody on there.
Everybody's got to get on the poster. You know what I mean? So in this case, they went ahead and did that too. But just look through here some of these. Sin Cara, look at him up the top left. There's Cedric Alexander, Mojo, dead center top. Yeah. Goldust was still in this one. There's
Shane
O'Mac.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Bray Wyatt, Jericho. Rumors of Jericho going around.
Who wants to walk with Elias?
Who wants to walk? Rhino. We talked about them earlier. Is this the one? Is this the one where Titus fell under the ring?
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I just randomly had the day off of work on this day, so I got to watch it live.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, that's
Baron Corbin with
cool."
hair.
Yeah,
just randomly got the day off when wrestling was on during the day.
Yeah, yeah, that's legit. That's legit.
Samoa Joe.
You can Samoa. They call him Joe.
Brody. Oh, the great Khali. Oh, that's dope. All right. Yeah, that was only 7 years ago. Triple H was still wrestling too. Yeah,
feels a lot longer than that.
There's the bar too. Yeah, about that.
Yeah, we were just talking about him. Got their thumbs out just like they used to do. I had a buddy of mine that was in a bar scene for one of the bar's skits.
I was a big fan of the bar.
Wow.
Yeah, Cesaro threw him in a wall.
That's
and
cool.
Then his buddy that I didn't know got a pool table. Got a pool stick broken over his back. He said he got a little bit extra money for taking the stick.
I would tell that story the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.